This is Alova with astrowisdom.net, and I'd like to demonstrate how to find the 5 ruling planets for any moment in time according to the Advanced Stellar Astrology developed by K.S. Krishnamurti. We can find these 5 ruling planets in 3 easy steps. First of all, you need to calculate the chart with the sidereal zodiac. This is very important because the 5 ruling planets are based on positions of the stars, the actual stars in the sky. So it wouldn't have any meaning to use this method with the tropical zodiac. The tropical zodiac is based only on the Earth's orbit around the Sun. It's not related to any of the stars. So this is stellar astrology, and we need to use the sidereal zodiac. Now, when a charting program or an online service calculates a chart with sidereal zodiac, it always asks which Ayanamsha one wants to use. Sometimes it's spelled like Ayanamsha, but the correct pronunciation is Ayanamsha. If you don't already have an Ayanamsha that you prefer, I recommend that you choose either Lahiri or Krishnamurti. Lahiri is the most widely used Ayanamsha. It is adopted by the government of India, and Krishnamurti's Ayanamsha is very, very close to it. It just includes a small astronomical correction. The other thing to do when you calculate the chart is to include both the dragon head and the dragon tail. These are the moon's north node and south node. They are always exactly 180 degrees apart, so many software programs by default will only include the north node. However, the Vedic astrology system has a much deeper understanding of the moon's north and south nodes, and they are considered separately. So we need to consider them separately also. If the charting software is able to give you the true positions of the dragon head and dragon tail, the moon's north and south node, I recommend selecting true positions. The positions that are printed in ephemerises are actually the average positions. But now with our new technology, we can calculate the true positions. Okay, the next step is to take out a sheet of paper and just make a little chart like this. I've colored it in. We're going to be looking at the ascendant and the moon, and we need to find the large constellation ruler, the small constellation ruler. We're going to include the little ruler on this chart, and we also want to look at some close conjunctions. Now, the 5 yellow boxes are the 5 ruling planets. Every chart for any moment in time has these 5 ruling planets. They are in order of strength, number 1 through 5. Number 1 here, the small constellation ruler of the ascendant, is the strongest ruling planet at that moment of time. The next strongest ruling planet is the large constellation ruler of the ascendant, and then of the moon, and the weakest ruling planet is the day ruler, the weekday ruler, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, the 2 orange boxes are often useful. They are not ruling planets, but when I am writing down ruling planets, I always write them down. They often are very useful, as we will see in future videos. The green boxes here usually will be empty. But if we find any very close conjunctions, say within about 4 or 5 degrees, we should include them as ruling planets. The closer the conjunction, the stronger the ruling planet is. So a planet that is within 1 or 2 degrees I have found to be a very strong ruling planet. When it's 4 or 5 degrees, it's a weak ruling planet, but we still can include it. Okay, the next step is to find what our ruling planets are. You can do this by going to astrowisdom.net And then click on this button, little rulers. And when you do that, a page opens up, and if you scroll down just a little ways, you'll see this chart here. This chart shows all of the planetary rulers, all 3 of them, for every position of the zodiac. All 360 degrees of the zodiac have 3 planetary rulers, and they're shown on this chart. The first column here is for the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The second column here that's labeled Earth is for the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The third column is for the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And the last column here is for the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. If you are a Vedic astrologer and you're not familiar with the 3 outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, simply substitute Saturn instead of Uranus, Jupiter instead of Neptune, and Dragonhead instead of Pluto. Dragonhead is also called Rahu. There is a symbol key right here on the page that shows the planetary symbols. K.S. Krishnamurti did use the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and he did recommend that they be used. There is also some evidence in the Vedas that the ancients did know about the outer planets. Okay, so let's find the ruling planets. We're going to use as an example the chart of Mother Teresa that is shown on the bottom of the web page I just mentioned. Her ascendant is 1 degree of Sagittarius, 54 minutes. Now, Sagittarius is a fire sign, so we're going to look in the red column that's labeled fire. We need to find 1 degree, 54 minutes. Each of these boxes is a small section of the zodiac. These are the little sections. The start of the section, or the start of the arc, is shown by the degrees, minutes, and seconds here. The number in this last column is the width, or the duration of the arc. The first arc here is 46 2/3 minutes. So the next arc starts at 46 minutes 40 seconds, and so on. We see that the arc belonging to the sun here is exactly 40 minutes in duration. These arcs are of unequal length, and they all add up to exactly 360 degrees. So this first arc is ruled by the dragon tail, the next arc, and here we see that 1 degree Sagittarius 54 falls in between these 2 numbers here, in between 1 degree 5320 and 3 degrees. So 1 degree Sagittarius 54 falls within this purple box here, and the little ruler is Venus. So we can put Venus in our little ruler box. Now, this also falls within this small constellation here. This is in the constellation of the Root, which is ruled by the dragon tail. So 1 degree Sagittarius 54 falls within the Root small constellation ruled by the dragon tail. It is also within the large constellation of Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. So the 3 planetary rulers of 1 degree Sagittarius 54 are Jupiter, Dragon Tail, and Venus. Let's go on to the moon. Her moon is at 25 degrees of Aries, 32 minutes. Aries is also a fire sign, so we're going to look in the same column, the same box that's labeled fire, but we need to look a little further down, and we see that 2532 falls within, in between 245320 and 255320. So it falls within this green box here. It's this little tiny section of the zodiac, it's exactly 1 degree wide, is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is the little ruler of her moon position. So we can put Mercury under the little ruler column here. Now this section of the zodiac, to find the small constellation, its ruler is Venus, and this happens to be the small constellation called the Bearer, which you can look if you look a little bit higher in that column. The ruler of the small constellation is Venus, and we know that it's in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. So the 3 planetary rulers of 25 degrees Aries 32 minutes are Mars, Venus, and Mercury. The next thing we do is to look at the chart wheel and see if there are any planets within 5 degrees of the ascendant, the moon, or the midheaven. These need to be close conjunctions. This is Mother Teresa's chart, and we see that there are no planets near her ascendant. Next, we look at the midheaven, and we see that Jupiter is quite close to her midheaven. Her midheaven is 25 degrees of Virgo. Her Jupiter is 21. So Jupiter will be included as a ruling planet in her chart. It's not very strong, but it is a ruling planet. Now we look at her moon, which is right here. It's at 25 degrees of Aries, and we see that the dragon head is at 0 degrees of Taurus. This is not within 4 or 5 degrees. It's a little bit too far, so we're not going to include that as a ruling planet. The last thing we need to know is what day of the week she was born on. Now, the charting program should tell you the day of the week. She was born on a Friday. Now, she was born in the afternoon, so her ruling planet of Friday is Venus. We have to be careful here because in this system, the day starts at sunrise. It does not start at midnight. It starts at sunrise. So if the event occurred before sunrise, the sun would be somewhere down here between the first house, second house, or the third house. If the sun is anywhere down there, and then we know that the event occurred before sunrise, we would need to use the planetary ruler of the previous day. Okay, so if she had been born, say at 3 o'clock in the morning, the ruling planet of the day would be Jupiter. Even though she was still born on a Friday, if it was before sunrise, that ruling planet would be Jupiter. Okay, so now we're ready to fill out our boxes here. Here's just a duplicate of what we found before for the ruling planets of her ascendant and moon. The large ruler of her ascendant is Jupiter. The small constellation ruler of her ascendant is the dragon tail, goes right here. And the little ruler of her ascendant is Venus, and so we'll put that in there. The large constellation ruler of her moon is Mars, because it was in Aries, and so that Mars goes right there. The small constellation ruler of her moon is Venus, and so Venus goes right here. The little ruler of her moon is Mercury, and so Mercury goes there. And we know she was born on a Friday, ruled by Venus, and so Venus goes in this box. We also know that there is a close conjunction of Jupiter to her midheaven, so Jupiter is a ruling planet here. So we're going to put these in order of strength. The strongest ruling planet is the one right here in this position, the small constellation ruler of the ascendant. So position number 1, we have the dragon tail. The next ruling planet is Jupiter, because it was conjunct her midheaven. She doesn't have anything conjunct her ascendant. If she did, it would go over here. She also doesn't have anything very closely conjunct her moon, and that planet would come here. So this, if there's a planet here, it would go here. If there's a planet here, it would go here. Then the second, number 2 position is Jupiter, because her ascendant is in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, so Jupiter comes right here in the number 2 position. Number 3 position is Venus. It is the small constellation ruler of her moon, so Venus comes here. Her moon is in Aries, ruled by Mars, and so Mars gets put in this position here, number 4. And the day ruler of Venus goes in position number 5. So these are the ruling planets in order of importance. So we're going to rewrite these just to recap. We can see we don't need to repeat the ruling planets, and so in order of importance, of strength, the most important, strongest rulers of her chart are the dragon tail, Jupiter, Venus, and Mars, in that order. The ruling planets of a person's chart are important in compatibility and marriage assessments, and even more exciting, as we will see in future videos, the ruling planets of a moment chart answer the question. So thanks for sharing astrology. We like to share facts, tips, insights, and wisdom.